Shalom and good day all. This is the Healing29 back again for Figures and the Figures. And as you can see today, I have the Salamandroid figure, which I managed to purchase secondhand. Now, I have had a look at the price that it does sell sort of like first hand, which is about $25 US, which is the equivalent of close to $40 Australian. And I managed to get this for about $20 Australian, which I paid about $13.50 for it, secondhand through eBay. So first things first, one thing I'll do first is we'll have a look at the packaging and then we'll move on to the figure. So this is the this side of the packaging. Then we have this side of it. I do like the presentation on the packaging though. I do think it's actually something that's really nicely done. Now, I guess my main question would be on this is, who did the art for this packaging? Was it EVS or was it the Chinese communist group that EVS got to do for the packaging? Of course, last but not least, the stats on the character. Now, I do wish one thing that EVS could have done with this character is actually have this character be standing up instead of the way it's presented. I think it would probably work better. Of course, we can't forget his made in communist China side of things. And last but not least, with it actually standing up. Now, I'll bring down the actual figure itself. Now, here is the actual Salamandroid figure. And if it's one thing I want to point out, yes, this thing might have been purchased secondhand, but the thing was sealed like brand new. One thing I do want to point out is that it looks like this tail has a bit of damage to it whilst it was being packed. Whether it's meant to be that way or not, I'm not too sure. So let's have a bit of a look at this figure on some different angles. This could actually be a little bit more well balanced if I were to point out one thing, because it seems to fail quite a bit and it leans to one side more than the other. Now, whether that applies to all of the figurines, I don't know, but no doubt a certain amount of figurines of this would have that issue. Of course, the back end, like how EVS loves the back end of this person he calls Sturgis. So as we start to move into conclusion of this video, do I think that this figure is actually what I paid for it, or do I think it's actually worth less than what I paid for it? Well, I think for what I paid for it secondhand, already in that alone, it gives me quite a bit of a discount. I do think the figure could be fixed up in quite a number of areas. And not only that, I'm surprised he actually didn't put out a Salamandroid to which it's actually standing up on its feet, and maybe just use the tail itself to sort of like help hold the character up, which I think is pretty lame. So, of the nearly $40 Australian, how much do I think this figure is probably worth Australian? If I were to say one thing, probably about $12 to $15 at max. I am awaiting a Cyberfrog figure, which is also secondhand turning up. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.